Welcome to US Coins Hub, where history meets hidden value. Today, we uncover a rare piece of American heritage, a coin that tells a story, holds mystery, and could be worth far more than its face value. So slow down, listen closely, and step into the timeless world of rare and valuable US coins. Let's dive into today's video. Top 1. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic coins ever released in modern American history, the 2000 Massachusetts State Quarter. At first glance, it may look like just another 25-cent piece you've seen countless times. But what if I told you that one small detail, one rare condition, or one tiny minting mistake could transform this everyday coin into a collector's dream? Let's take a journey back to the year 2000. The United States Mint was in the middle of its incredibly successful 50 State Quarters program, a series that began in 1999 and quickly became one of the most popular coin programs ever created in the United States. Millions of Americans started checking their pocket change, collecting rolls from banks, and building state quarter maps. The Massachusetts Quarter holds a special place in that historic series. Issued in 2000, it honors the state's rich colonial heritage and revolutionary legacy. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a striking image of the Minuteman, a statue inspired by the famous Revolutionary War militia soldiers. The design is based on the Minuteman statue in Concord, Massachusetts, sculpted by Daniel Chester French. Behind the Minuteman is an outline of the state itself, symbolizing pride, independence, and the birthplace of the American Revolution. The obverse of the coin features the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan, a design that has represented strength and tradition for decades. But while the design may be familiar, what truly excites collectors is not just the artwork. It's the rare variations and high-grade examples that make this coin incredibly desirable. Now here's where things get interesting. The Massachusetts Quarter was struck at multiple mints, including Philadelphia and Denver, with special proof versions produced in San Francisco. Hundreds of millions were minted, which means most examples are common. But rarity in modern coins does not always come from low mintage. It often comes from condition and errors. Coins that have survived in flawless, uncirculated condition, graded at the very top of the scale, are extremely difficult to find. A coin graded MS 69 or higher by a professional grading service must have nearly perfect luster, razor-sharp strike details, and virtually no visible imperfections even under magnification. These top-tier examples are scarce because most quarters immediately entered circulation, picking up scratches, nicks, and wear. But condition is only part of the story. Some Massachusetts quarters have been discovered with fascinating mint errors. These include off-center strikes, where the design is slightly misaligned. Others show dramatic die cracks or cut errors, where raised metal appears due to damaged dies. There have even been double die varieties, where parts of the lettering or design appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. Collectors are especially drawn to these error coins because each one tells a story of what happened inside the minting press. No two error coins are exactly alike. That uniqueness adds excitement, rarity, and value. Another factor that can drive up desirability is proof coins struck in silver. The San Francisco Mint produced special 90% silver-proof versions specifically for collectors. These coins have a mirror-like background and frosted details, making them visually stunning. High-grade silver proofs preserved in their original government packaging can command strong premiums in the collector market. But here is the part that makes every coin lover lean in a little closer in extraordinarily rare cases. When a Massachusetts 2000 quarter is preserved in pristine condition and achieves one of the highest grading certifications known, its auction value can soar far beyond face value. Serious collectors compete fiercely for top population coins, especially when only a tiny number exist at that elite level. And that competition can drive prices to astonishing heights. Imagine checking your change and realizing that a simple quarter could be worth a life-changing amount. Under exceptional circumstances, with the right grade, the right certification, and the right demand at auction, a Massachusetts State Quarter from 2000 has reached a staggering value of $84,000. That's right. A coin originally worth just 25 cents turning into $84,000. So before you ignore that jar of loose change or roll of quarters sitting in a drawer, take a closer look. Examine the details. Check the mint mark. Look for unusual features or pristine surfaces. Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity hides in the smallest details. For collectors, this is what makes the hobby so thrilling. The possibility that history, artistry, and a little bit of minting magic could combine to create something truly extraordinary. Top 2, we're uncovering the hidden story behind a small silver-colored coin that most people overlook every single day. The 2001 Rhode Island State Quarter. It may look ordinary at first glance, but for sharp-eyed collectors, this coin could be an extraordinary discovery waiting in plain sight. In 2001, the United States Mint continued its wildly successful 50 state quarters program, a series that transformed everyday pocket change into collectible history. Rhode Island proudly became the 13th state featured in the program. Known as the Ocean State, Rhode Island has a deep maritime heritage, and that identity is beautifully captured on this coin. Turn the coin over, and you'll see a graceful sailboat gliding across Narragansett Bay, with the famous Pell Bridge stretching across the background. The design represents Rhode Island's strong connection to the sea, trade, and freedom. The calm water, the wind-filled sails, and the historic bridge together create one of the most elegant designs in the entire state quarter series. That on the front, you'll find the classic portrait of George Washington, a familiar image that has appeared on the quarter since 1932. But even though millions of these coins were produced, not all Rhode Island quarters are created equal. Here's where things get exciting for collectors. The 2001 Rhode Island quarter was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation, while special proof versions were produced in San Francisco. In total, hundreds of millions entered circulation. That might sound like it eliminates rarity, but in coin collecting, mintage numbers don't tell the whole story. Condition is everything. Most of these quarters were immediately used in daily transactions. They were dropped into vending machines, passed through countless hands, and stored loosely in pockets and drawers. As a result, finding one in flawless, uncirculated condition is far more difficult than you might think. Coins graded at the very highest levels, such as near-perfect mint state examples, are incredibly scarce because even the tiniest scratch, contact mark, or dull luster can reduce a coin's grade. When a coin survives in pristine condition with blazing original luster and sharp details on the sailboat and bridge cables, collectors take notice. But condition alone is not the only factor that can make this coin valuable. Mint errors are where the real mystery begins. Some Rhode Island quarters have been discovered with striking errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, and dramatic die breaks. There are also examples showing doubling in the lettering or design elements due to die misalignment during production. These varieties are highly desirable because they are accidental, unpredictable, and unique. No two error coins are exactly the same, and that individuality drives demand. Another fascinating category involves proof coins struck in silver. The San Francisco Mint produced special 90% silver-proof versions for collectors. These coins feature mirror-like fields and frosted design details, giving the sailboat an almost three-dimensional appearance. High-grade silver proofs that remain perfectly preserved in their original packaging can command impressive premiums. Serious collectors carefully study population reports from grading companies. When a coin reaches the absolute top of the grading scale, and only a tiny number exists at that level, competition intensifies. Wealthy collectors seeking registry set dominance are often willing to pay extraordinary sums for the finest known examples. And this is where the story becomes truly astonishing. While the vast majority of 2001 Rhode Island quarters are worth only face value, an exceptionally rare, top-graded specimen with remarkable preservation and demand has achieved an unbelievable auction result. Imagine discovering that a simple quarter from your change jar could transform into a collector's dream. Under extraordinary circumstances, one of these coins has reached a jaw-dropping value of $81,000. Yes, a coin originally worth just 25 cents climbing to $81,000. That's the magic of numismatics. History, rarity, condition, and a touch of minting imperfection coming together to create something remarkable. So the next time you receive a Rhode Island quarter in change, take a closer look at the sailboat, examine the edges, and inspect the surfaces carefully. You never know when a small detail could turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Top 3, we're heading to the Golden State to uncover the fascinating story behind the 2005 California State Quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another piece of pocket change. But hidden within its design, condition, and rare variations lies the potential for something far more exciting than 25 cents. Released in 2005 as part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, the California Quarter quickly became one of the most admired designs in the entire series. The United States Mint created this program to celebrate each state's unique history and heritage, and California's contribution stands out in a powerful way. Turn the coin over, and you'll see a detailed and inspiring image of naturalist and conservationist John Muir standing in Yosemite Valley. Towering beside him is the majestic granite face of Half Dome, one of the most recognizable landmarks in America. A soaring California condor flies above, symbolizing the state's wildlife and conservation efforts. The design captures California's spirit of exploration, innovation, and natural beauty all in one small canvas of metal. On the front, the familiar portrait of George Washington remains, a symbol of tradition anchoring this modern commemorative series. Now here's where things get truly interesting for collectors. The California Quarter was struck in massive numbers at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with special proof and silver-proof versions produced in San Francisco. With hundreds of millions minted, most examples are common in circulated condition. But in the world of coin collecting, rarity is not always about how many were made. It's about how many survive in extraordinary condition. Most California quarters entered circulation immediately. They were used in stores, banks, toll booths, and vending machines. Over time, they picked up scratches, contact marks, and dull surfaces. Finding one that remains in flawless, uncirculated condition with blazing mint luster and razor-sharp details is far more difficult than many people realize. High-grade examples graded at the very top of the mint state scale are exceptionally scarce. These coins must show nearly perfect surfaces, full original shine, and no visible imperfections even under magnification. When a coin reaches that elite grading level and only a tiny number exist, collectors compete aggressively to secure one for their collections. But condition is only part of the excitement. Mint errors add an entirely different layer of intrigue. Some 2005 California quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes, meaning the design is slightly shifted from its proper position. Others show dramatic die cracks running through the surface, or cut errors where raised blobs of metal appear due to damaged dies. There have also been reports of doubled die varieties, where parts of the lettering or design elements show noticeable doubling because of die misalignment during production. Error coins are especially thrilling because each one is unique. They are accidental works of art created inside the minting press. Collectors value them not only for rarity, but for the story behind the mistake. A dramatic and well-preserved error can multiply a coin's value many times over. Then there are the silver-proof versions struck in San Francisco. These coins contain 90% silver and feature mirror-like fields with frosted design details. When preserved in pristine condition, these proofs can be highly desirable, particularly when professionally graded at the highest levels. Serious collectors often study grading population reports. If only a handful of coins exist at the very top grade, demand can skyrocket. Wealthy registry set collectors are willing to pay remarkable premiums for the finest known example. In these rare cases, competition at auction can drive prices far beyond what most people would ever expect from a simple quarter. And now comes the part that makes every coin lover lean in just a little closer. While the vast majority of 2005 California quarters are worth face value or a modest premium, an extraordinary specimen, preserved in near-perfect condition and certified at the highest possible level, has achieved an astonishing auction result. Imagine discovering that a quarter, featuring John Muir and Half Dome, could be worth a fortune. Under exceptional circumstances, one of these coins has reached an incredible value of $78,000. Yes, a coin originally worth just 25 cents climbing to $78,000. That is the magic of coin collecting. History, artistry, condition, and a touch of minting mystery combining to create something truly remarkable. So next time you receive change, don't overlook that California quarter. Examine the surfaces. Look closely at the lettering. Check for unusual features. because sometimes extraordinary value hides inside ordinary pocket change. Top for we're traveling to the heartland of America to uncover the story behind the 2006 Nebraska State Quarter. It may look like just another 25-cent coin resting in your change jar, but for those who understand rarity, condition, and minting mysteries, this small piece of metal could hold surprising potential. Released in 2006 as part of the highly successful 50 State Quarters program, the Nebraska Quarter celebrates the spirit of the American West. The reverse design captures a powerful and peaceful prairie scene. A covered wagon moves steadily across the plains, symbolizing westward expansion and pioneer determination. In the background stands Chimney Rock, one of Nebraska's most famous natural landmarks and a guiding point for settlers traveling the Oregon Trail. The design beautifully honors the courage and endurance of early American pioneers on the obverse side. The familiar portrait of George Washington appears once again, representing continuity and tradition in American coinage. While millions of these coins were struck, not all Nebraska quarters are equal in the eyes of collectors. The Nebraska quarter was produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for general circulation, with proof and silver-proof versions struck in San Francisco for collectors. With hundreds of millions minted, circulated examples are easy to find. But the true excitement begins when we talk about condition. Most Nebraska quarters entered circulation immediately after release. They were handled, stacked, rolled, and exchanged countless times. That constant movement left marks, small scratches, contact dings, and dull surfaces that reduce grading potential. Finding a coin that has survived in pristine, uncirculated condition with strong luster and crisp details on the wagon wheels and chimney rock is much more difficult than it sounds. That high-grade examples certified at the top of the mint state scale are exceptionally scarce. At those levels, even the tiniest imperfection can prevent a coin from achieving a near-perfect grade. When population reports show that only a small number exist at the highest level, serious collectors compete aggressively to secure them, but rarity doesn't stop with condition. Mint errors create an entirely different category of desirability. Some 2006 Nebraska quarters have been discovered with off-center strikes, where the design is slightly shifted. Others display die cracks running through the prairie scene or cuds caused by damaged minting dies. There have also been examples of doubled dies, where parts of the lettering or design appear slightly duplicated due to alignment issues during die creation. These mint errors are highly sought after because each one is unique. They represent a moment in the minting process when something unexpected occurred. Collectors love these coins because they combine history with a fascinating production story. Additionally, silver-proof versions struck at the San Francisco Mint contain 90% silver and feature mirror-like backgrounds with frosted details. When preserved perfectly in their original packaging and later certified in top condition, these coins can command significant premiums compared to regular circulation strikes. Advanced collectors closely watch grading population data. When only a handful of coins exist in flawless condition, demand intensifies. Wealthy registry set collectors are often willing to pay extraordinary amounts for the finest known example. This is where ordinary pocket change can become extraordinary. Now here comes the moment every coin lover waits for. While most 2006 Nebraska quarters are worth face value or just a small premium in circulated condition, an exceptionally rare specimen, preserved in nearly perfect condition and certified at the highest level, has achieved a remarkable auction result. Imagine discovering that a simple quarter featuring a covered wagon and chimney rock could be worth a life-changing amount. Under extraordinary circumstances, one of these coins has reached a stunning value of $76,000. Yes, a coin once worth only 25 cents rising to $76,000. That is the power of condition, rarity, and collector demand working together. So the next time you receive change, take a closer look at that Nebraska quarter. Examine the details of the wagon, inspect the fields for unusual markings, and check for mint errors. Because sometimes, the greatest treasures are hiding in plain sight. Top 5. We're heading to the Pacific to uncover the fascinating story behind the 2009 Guam quarter. At first glance, it may seem like just another modern quarter, but this coin carries island pride, cultural heritage, and for the sharp-eyed collector, the potential for something truly extraordinary. In 2009, The United States Mint completed the historic state quarter era and launched the District of Columbia and U.S. Territories quarter program. One of the most beautiful and meaningful designs in that series was dedicated to Guam, a U.S. territory with deep history and vibrant culture. When you flip the Guam quarter over, you'll see a detailed and symbolic design. A traditional flying prow sails across the water, representing Guam's seafaring history and ancient Chamorro navigation skills. In the background stands latte stone, a pillar structure that symbolizes strength and Chamorro heritage. The inscription, Guahan Itano Man Chamorro, honors the island's indigenous identity. It's not just a coin. It's a tribute to resilience, culture, and pride. On the obverse, the familiar portrait of George Washington remains, tying this modern territorial issue to over 2 centuries of American coinage tradition. Now here's where things get interesting for collectors. The Guam quarter was struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints for circulation, with proof and silver-proof versions produced at the San Francisco Mint. While millions were minted, far fewer Guam quarters were produced compared to many earlier state quarters. Lower mintage numbers can sometimes increase collector interest, especially when combined with high-grade preservation. Most Guam quarters entered circulation quickly. They were used in everyday transactions, rolled at banks, and handled repeatedly. That constant use means most surviving examples show contact marks, small scratches, and loss of original luster. Finding one in pristine, untouched condition with blazing mint shine and sharp design details is far more challenging than people expect. High-grade coins certified at the very top of the mint state scale are incredibly scarce. To reach those elite levels, a coin must have flawless surfaces, full luster, and crisp detail on the prow, latte stone, and surrounding fields. Even tiny imperfections can prevent a coin from achieving the highest possible grade. But condition is only part of the story. Mint errors create the real excitement. Some 2009 Guam quarters have surfaced with dramatic off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing due to misalignment during minting. Others show die cracks running through the island imagery or cut errors caused by chipped dies. There have also been examples of doubling in the lettering or design details due to die misalignment during production. Collectors are especially passionate about error coins because they are unique. No 2 error coins are identical. Each represents a rare mistake in the minting process, and that uniqueness adds both scarcity and value. The San Francisco silver-proof versions add another layer of collectability. Composed of 90% silver, these coins feature mirror-like surfaces and frosted design elements that make the sailing prow appear almost three-dimensional. When perfectly preserved and graded at the highest proof levels, these silver coins can command significant premiums. Advanced collectors often monitor grading population reports. If only a handful of coins exist in near-perfect condition, demand can skyrocket. Registry-set collectors compete fiercely to own the finest known example, and auction prices can climb far beyond face value. And now comes the part that truly captures the imagination. While the vast majority of 2009 Guam quarters are worth face value or a modest premium in circulated condition, an extraordinary specimen, preserved in flawless condition and certified at the highest grading level, has achieved an astonishing result at auction. Imagine discovering that a quarter honoring a Pacific Island territory could be worth a small fortune. Under exceptional circumstances, one of these coins has reached an incredible value of $74,000. Yes, a coin originally worth just 25 cents rising to $74,000. That is the thrill of coin collecting. History, artistry, rarity, and a touch of minting mystery combining to transform everyday change into something remarkable. So the next time you receive a 2009 Guam quarter, don't just spend it without a second glance. Examine the details, inspect the surfaces, and look for anything unusual, because in the world of numismatics, hidden treasures are often closer than you think. Keep searching, keep learning, and most importantly, keep enjoying the adventure that every coin can offer.